and welcome to TNA Post Show. As always, I'm joined by my co-host. He allegedly has no relation to Steve Macklin. He's the fifth rascal himself, although I'm not sure how that would change after tonight. The one and only Burt Macklin.
How's it going?
It's going good. Oh my god, we had such an incredible show. Wouldn't you agree?
Definitely, it was it outproved the expectations I had, and it was a lot better of a show than I thought it was going to be, with a lot of surprises that I didn't think were going to happen.
Yeah, so let's talk about probably one of the biggest surprises of them all. Let's talk about Jeff Hardy making his grand return to TNA. So at the end of the main event, Matt Hardy, Rebby, and the Nemeth brothers are getting beat down by the system. And who came out to help them? Jeff Hardy.
Brother Nero himself.
So Jeff Hardy is back hitting moves with a twist of fate and then a swanton bomb. What are your thoughts on this?
Yeah, I know that was quite surprising. I also have to say, and just if the Hardys are going to have one final run anywhere, it makes sense with just TNA, just in terms of that's where they were last, I would think, most over. And then, yeah, I'm not surprised that Moose won the match. Yeah, it was actually a pretty crazy match. There were a lot of pretty memorable spots. But overall, yeah, I think it was mostly about Jeff Hardy making his return.
Yeah. Trent Hatchett saying TNA showed out tonight. What a show. He just became a free agent as of midnight. Moose survived no DQ. He put them in the Hall of Fame this year. CTE chance. I agree. The Hardy Boys should go into the TNA Hall of Fame this year.
That's definitely, I completely agree with that. And if we're just going to focus on Jeff too, it could be argued that, and I was hearing a lot about this in one of my group chats tonight. It could be argued that Jeff had a better singles career in WWE. I mean, in TNA. Obviously, the Hardys, the tag team career, that's fine. That's not debatable in WWE. But just as a single star, Jeff Hardy was way more over and booked way stronger in TNA. And also, now that I'm thinking about it, Matt as well. I didn't watch too much WWE when he was Matt Hardy version 1 and stuff like that during the late 2000s. But for me, I think Matt Hardy, I think both of them could go in as a team or as solo. I'd be fine. I would actually like that more.
So I'm very curious to see where this goes, because now you got the Nemeth brothers and the Hardy Boys and the system. Oh my god. And then Macklin on a digital exclusive made his intentions known that he wants a world title. Where's all of this gonna go? I'm very curious, but I'm super excited to see where all this goes.
I did not see that exclusive, but it's funny that you mentioned Macklin. I won't get into the match, but from what I saw, it seemed like a little bit of a babyface turn from Macklin tonight. After the match, it seemed like him and Santana left on good terms. And so Macklin now wanting the title, I could see him as somewhat of a face. And I'm back on him because I think he deserved a longer reign last time. So they did re-sign him, so I think they need to reward that loyalty. I think Steve Macklin deserves another world title run.
What a road to Summerversary for sure. Exactly. I do agree Steve Macklin should have had a longer title reign, but also in this mix was Joe Henry, who has defeated every member of the system. I want to see him hashtag Joe Henry for world champion. I want to see him get put in the main event picture. Oh, so many directions, so many twists and turns.
Yeah, we'll talk a little bit more about Joe Henry later. I have some thoughts on that.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about this main event. It was a Broken Rules match for the TNA World Title. Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers got dragged to the back by the Nemeth brothers. And I have to say, I thought this was a really good match. I was expecting it to be crazy, but I noticed that once again, Moose does not bleed during hardcore matches.
What was that?
Moose does not bleed during hardcore matches.
Yeah.
He does not bleed because this is I don't know, the 5th time that he's competed in a hardcore match, and he hasn't bled. So I thought that was interesting. But Rebby Sky coming out attacking Lish. And I knew it. I knew the minute that she was standing next to Moose, encouraging a spear, I knew Moose was gonna pull her in front of him, and that's exactly what happened.
Yeah, that was just, even if it was so predictable, it doesn't make it you knew it was gonna happen, but it didn't make it more I didn't hate it because it made sense.
Yeah, I didn't hate it either, but it did make sense. Ios is lots of contenders. That's a good thing. Yeah, I thought Broken Man was a tad nuts, wanting to know DQs was specialty. Exactly, it is. How many hardcore matches has he completed? Raven's Clockwork Orange, Monsters Ball, Full Metal Mayhem. Moose has done it all when it comes to hardcore matches.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, so I thought this was a great match. A really great match. You?
Yeah, it wasn't my favorite match, but I enjoyed it for what it was.
I think the moment for me was when Matt Hardy pulled that Chicago Bears helmet out while Moose was wearing his New England Patriots helmet.
I like those stats from last week because he was wearing the New England Patriots helmet again. I think one of the stats was he blocked for Bill Belichick. I don't know if that's true or not. I don't think that's possible, but I think that meant he was on the team and he was a blocker. But I thought that was funny.
Yeah, that was hilarious. But all right. So overall, great main event. Let's talk about Jordynne Grace. Because as we all know, she was going to do an open challenge. Now, speculation was ramping wild about who her potential challenger was going to be. As we saw in NXT, Tatum Paxley was teasing entering this open challenge. And that's exactly what happened. Tatum Paxley entered this open challenge. And I thought she had a decent match with Jordynne Grace.
Yeah, I saw a lot of praise. And I happen to agree with people when people say I think that that's probably one of her best matches in NXT or TNA, her first match in TNA, but a combination of just Jordynne being so great and just the way that they book matches in TNA. But this was a very good match.
NXT TNA, that was good. Tatum can go. I don't know much about Tatum Paxley, as we both know, and for those that don't know, I don't watch TNA. I mean, I don't watch. That was a botch. I don't watch NXT on a weekly basis. I watch TNA every week. I wouldn't be here reviewing this show. So I don't know much about Tatum Paxley. But I want to get your thoughts on what happened at the end, especially because I know how you feel about Ash by Elegance. She chop blocked Jordynne Grace with those knuckles. I think she had her diamond encrusted knuckles. Jordynne Grace hit it with the spine buster, and then she poured the champagne all over Ash by Elegance.
Well, first off, I'm glad that this wasn't a triple threat, because if you watched Battleground, both Tatum and Ash interfered in the match or tried to interfere. So you could have thought one would think that it would have been a triple threat tonight. I'm glad it wasn't. Ash was just at ringside to continue her gimmick. Yeah, no, I thought that was funny. We're obviously building towards Jordynne versus Ash at some point. I personally would rather it be on a TV episode, just because I'm hoping for Jordynne versus Natty at Slammiversary. But yeah, I did think that was funny.
I felt like the fans had no idea who Tatum was. It was sort of underwhelming because I was expecting it to be Tatum. It just felt like a filler because Ash by Alex is getting the shot at Slammiversary, and Ash had the biggest tantrum. I disagree. I don't think Ash by Elegance is getting the title opportunity at Slammiversary. That's not, how can I say this? I don't think, how can I say this in a nice way? I feel like at Slammiversary, Jordan Grace, if she does an open challenge, it should be against Natalia. Makes the most sense. Um, I think that if Ash by Elegance is Jordan Grace's next opponent, I don't think that's the Slammiversary match, but I do think it's a match on that will happen on Impact.
They have not at is I'm I've been liking Ash a lot more in TNA. They have not built her up to be credible enough. She's only had really one main feud, like you talk about, against Brookside. They have not built her up enough to where people are going to want to see that match at Slammiversary. That's not a good match at this point. So,
well, let me put it this way: would Jordan Grace versus Ash by Elegance be the equivalent of Trinity facing Alicia Edwards? What do you think?
I think people were more interested in Alicia getting the title shot just because TNA fans had watched her grow at that over the years. You know what I'm saying? And she just started getting. You know what I mean? That was kind of a big deal at the time. You know what I mean? Just
Yeah,
because Alicia's been there a while and they just started doing something. I don't think that's the same thing.
because the only reason why I bring that up is because I feel like at that time when Lish won that battle royal to challenge Trinity for the Knockouts title, I feel like a lot of people felt the same way that they do about Ash by Elegance, that she just wasn't a credible contender for the Knockouts title at that time.
I'm also going back to what you said yesterday. Just she hasn't really had much feuds. Her match yesterday wasn't, even though Jada Stone is it has been in TNA a little bit now. She's still not like a big time feud for her. So all really Ash has done is have a few matches and then just come out and sit in the crowd. You know what I mean? So I don't see. And again, it's not like she was a big name in WWE, so no one's gonna care about that. I'm not trying to be a dick about it, but people, you have to build someone up to make people want to see them, especially if they're not a huge name.
Io says Natalia might be a free agent soon. I'm thinking Natty should be a free agent soon. Last I read, she hasn't signed a new contract. I just wanted to be Jordan versus Natty at Slammiversary, just in game maybe safer with Ash. Agree with Burt. We left Alicia getting an opportunity. Ash is different because she just got there. As far as Ash runs has been blah. Burt is right. I just can't find. Am I the only one that likes Ash? I mean, don't get me wrong. I like Ash, the Ash by Elegance character. I like it. And I think that they're trying to showcase her in a way that TNA knows best, you know, like that shows off her strengths, which is something that TNA like does best when it comes to like rebuilding, repackaging wrestlers. But I understand the point you're making. Like I don't like. I think that if Jordan Grace was to face off against Ash by Elegance, I don't. That's not a Slammiversary match, in my opinion. You know.
Yeah, and
I just don't see her as a viable contender.
No, that's what I'm saying. And again, like she's not coming into the company with any cachet for people to care with her lack of match time, ring time. You know what I mean? This isn't Nick Nemeth coming in, who got a title match. You know what I mean? That was a match. People pop for that, you know, because Nick Nemeth's the name. Ash is not at this point. And let me just say to the comments to Io's point. I mean, I believe it was Joe's point. I think regardless if Natalia re-signs with WWE, I think just because the idea has been floated around, and now that there seems to be a little bit of a partnership, I think Natalia has such pull that she could get asked for that match with Jordan, even if she signed with WWE. Because you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying. Thank you, Joseph, for agreeing with me. This needs a special defense. You should do another open challenge. I should just challenge you on a random episode of Impact. Yeah, I think we're on agreement. Yeah. All right, let's kick things off talking about the countdown to Against All Odds, which kicked off with Sami Callihan and Jonathan Gresham. I thought this was a great match. Um, Sami Callihan attacking Jonathan Gresham before the match. I was really surprised that Sami Callihan defeated Jonathan Gresham here, but maybe you can attribute that victory to Dr. Kushida over here.
You know what? I actually didn't like any of this, really. And I like Kushida. Sami Callihan, you know.
Dr. Kushida.
I respect everything he's done. I'm a little bored with him at this point. And then Gresham, it just makes me upset because I really don't think he should be. Like, it'd have been fine if, like, after the match, if there was ink on the mat and, like, you saw Kushida go up and, like, but just the fact that, like, that he took it during the match and then that Gresham lost, I think they should, because I was thinking they need to be building Gresham up as he's just going through the locker room at this point, just especially with this new character and then, again, the wrestling ability. But for him to lose already, I'm not saying I'm done, but I thought it was stupid.
I agree with you. I like the match, but I did disagree with the way things went down and how it ended. I feel like Jonathan Gresham was doing really well with this character. It's like, why are they making him lose so fast? Hold off on a bit. So,
and I like to have a little reality. Like, when has Kushida? I didn't know that he had any medical experience.
Oh, Dr. Kushida's in the house. Joseph said, yeah, Jonathan could have won and still got the conclusion they wanted with Kushida returning to go after Jonathan's ink. They're trying to get this ink stuff over. I think they are. See, but why introduce if you're going to get over that fast? It's like,
Yeah, exactly.
So we have an interview with the system, and they're just basically talking about their respective matches. And Moose ends it by saying that Hardy will learn to trust the fucking system. Which he did learn to trust the fucking system.
As he should.
Yeah. We get the Knockouts tag team title match. It's the Hex versus, I didn't know this was her tag team name, Militia.
I didn't catch it. That's a good name.
Yeah, I liked it. I was like, Militia, okay. I can dig that. I'm digging that.
I really like this match. And again, like I thought that Militia was gonna win, but I'm slowly liking how the chemistry that Alicia and Masha are developing. They pair off of each other. Like, Masha's the heavy of the group. You know what I mean? It works.
She's the muscle, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was a great match. I was kind of worried for a sec, like, oh my god, is the Hex actually gonna do it? But no, Militia won with that bulldog off the top rope with that had Marty Bell on Masha Samovich's shoulders. So really happy Militia won here. I was pulling for them.
Definitely.
And then at the end they hug. So yeah, I feel like they're coming together finally as a tag team.
I love it.
Me too. Yeah, Masha and Alicia are the Knockouts tag team champions. So basically, that's the system run TNA. They just have great chemistry together. They're just missing the digital media title, and they'll have literally all the gold.
Okay, well, hey, let's not get too carried away with that.
We'll talk about that when we get there. So the main card kicks off with Mike Santana and Steve Macklin versus the Rascals. I bet this was a hard match for you.
Yeah, because Santana and Steve Macklin cheated.
Oh, that you see.
Yeah, they didn't. They blatantly didn't allow the Rascals to use the spray paint. That's their signature. That's their trademark. They spray paint things.
These four had great chemistry. So I
Yes,
didn't
they
know.
did.
Yeah, they did. They did. I didn't know LAX had a feud with the Rascals in the past.
I don't remember that.
Commentary mentioned that a couple times during the match. Now, I have to say, for this being the first time that Steve Maclin and Mike Santana teamed up together, they had a really great chemistry. I was surprised by how well they worked together. I really thought Steve Maclin was going to walk out on Mike Santana or vice versa. Mike Santana was going to walk out on Steve Maclin. But they actually worked really well together. I think one of my favorite moments during this match was when they did the rolling buck 50 and the psycho knee to Zachary Wentz.
Yeah, I also like when they went to opposite corners. And like I think they both hit like spear, like variations like spears. But yeah, no, this was a really you can maybe even say that this was better than the other tag match later in the night. This was a really good match.
It was. I really like the fact that Steve Maclin actually had Mike Santana's back and stopped Trey Miguel from using the spray paint.
And like I said, I like the ending of this match when Santana Maclin congratulated him. It seemed like, and he didn't turn on him. It seems, like obviously Macklin's never going to be the smiling baby face, but he could be that, the guy people get behind. People love Steve Maclin, and they do need. There seems to be more heels at this point in the world title scene. So I really like this.
I really like the fact that Mike Santana set up Zachary Wentz so that Steve Maclin can hit the crosshairs. But yeah, Maclin hugging Mike Santana at the end, they had such incredible chemistry. Too bad it was a one and done. But you know what? Joseph said here, he thinks Steve and Santana could be a serious team and a big threat to the system if they wanted the titles, or this one off was great. Yeah, they could be a serious threat. They're both powerhouses. Jeff Hardy actually fucking returned. This is awesome. Yeah, he did. He returned at the end of the show. We talked about that. But yeah, this was a great tag match. I think this was, between both tag matches, this was my favorite.
Mm-hmm.
All right, and next we get a quick Matt Hardy promo, and he's just talking about how he'll be the champion of the world. So typical Matt Hardy promo. So you gotta explain this to me, okay? This next thing, okay? You gotta explain it to me because I got a little lost. So AJ Francis cuts a promo, and he's talking about how his jersey, it's a Scottie Pippen jersey, and he feels like he's a Scottie Pippen of TNA. And he brings up Michael Jordan. It's talking about how Michael Jordan didn't win anything until Scottie Pippen showed up. You gotta explain this to me because I don't follow basketball.
Well, yeah, he's not lying, but it's not like Scottie Pippen's better than Michael Jordan. But I still like him saying that. But I didn't get what his point was. So what he's saying that TNA didn't win anything until he got there?
No, he says that he believes TNA never reached their full potential until it became TNA AJ.
Francis. That's true, I think. I'm starting to agree with that.
And if you're not first class, you're last. And I guess I'm last because, like I said, I'm broke, I'm poor, so I fly economy.
Ouch.
Yeah. I can't fly first class.
It's nice up there.
I bet. I seen the seats. But anywho, I know AJ Francis was not very well liked when he was Top Dollar. I personally didn't like him as Top Dollar, but him being in TNA, they've done a really great job of establishing him as a heel, and he's done incredible work so far. He won me over,
Same here.
AJ Francis now has his spine all of a sudden as TNA Digital Media Champion, but he wasn't the one in the ring with half of the TNA's US Love Couple PCO. So, I personally thought that they were going to win the tag titles first, but AJ Francis being with Digital Media Champion, I'm hoping that means we get to see that title more. Though I do feel bad for Laredo Kid. He had such a short run.
Yeah, but not everybody needs, a year-long title reign.
Yeah.
There's got to be I know it was short. There's got to be like a happy median.
I know. So a rich one, a rich homie Swan versus PCO. This was an interesting match to say the least, because I didn't think that Rich Swan would beat PCO. Like, I'm kind of surprised PCO really didn't try the crazy stuff that he normally pulls off during the matches, you know? This was a rather tame PCO. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, this wasn't a match where he did a ton of crazy shit, so.
But you know what they say? Love changes people. So maybe he's in love and he just, wasn't the typical PCO.
Yeah.
Could be. But he still managed to put off the victory with the PCO Saw 2 Rich Swan.
Yeah.
At the end, STL Steph Delander came out and she showed PCO's note. And we find out she agreed to go on a date with PCO. I was not expecting this at all.
Yeah, who wrote, like, I just want to be at that pitch meeting where they're like, you know what? PCO needs a love. Let's write PCO a love interest. Okay?
Because that's what he needs.
Okay.
This is crazy. I did not think this was going to go. I mean, I'm very curious to see. I hope TNA airs their date, and because I want to know how that's going to go.
This again, that's where TNA shines in, those kind of segments. So yeah, I'm interested in that part.
I hope this is a good point. What does Cardona think of all of this?
Yeah.
I wonder though if this is the original plan or if this is just a 180 from what they were originally planning, because Matt Cardona got injured.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I honestly think that if Matt Cardona hadn't gotten injured, we probably wouldn't even be getting this whole angle,
That's true. I could see that.
Mm-hmm. All right, so next look at the TNA World Tag Team title match. It's system in the form of Eddie Edwards and Brian Myers versus the Nemeth Brothers. This is the second time the Nemeth Brothers team together, the first time being last night against ABC. I have to say, the Nemeth Brothers have really great chemistry for them being the second time they team together. Great chemistry. Let me see. Yeah, I'm thinking this is how they are keeping stuff busy because Matt is here, but it's a good story. Yeah. And I was really surprised by the fact that Dirty Dangle went out there, got Lish Edwards ejected, and it was just playing coy.
Yeah, this whole time, I didn't know. I didn't think that what that was going to happen with him siding with the system at the end. That's very interesting. But if anybody's going to be with the system, why not Dango, who hates professional wrestling?
Right? Was he going to challenge AJ Francis to that digital media title, win the digital media title, bring the digital media title over to the system, and they can officially have all the gold?
Well, they wouldn't have Jordan's belt. So that's what I'm saying. They don't need all the gold.
I have questions. New system member or associate like Masha? Good. I think an associate. I wonder what's in it for Dango. The system doesn't. I feel like he wouldn't have agreed to this unless there was something in it for him in return.
I agree with. Yeah, I definitely see that. I think he's more of an associate. I think he's obviously getting something in return.
Perhaps an opportunity at the tag titles?
Maybe.
Because we never really got a clear conclusion with his storyline to I can't think of it. Ole Prudius.
Well, yeah, I just think that they he's no longer there anymore. So I think they just kind of wrote him off. I don't think we were going to get a conclusion with that one.
I think this is the system being nervous of the Nemeth brothers. They won't go away. They may have a short detour dealing with Fandango. I could kind of see that.
Honestly, I think, especially after the win, I think ABC will eventually be the champions again. But I could see the Nemeth brothers winning.
We'll get into that, right, as when we get to that match. We got a Joe Henry promo. Typical Joe Henry promo. I did not even think of this until he said it, but now that he said it, I think he's right. I think Frankie Kazarian does look like Antonio Banderas.
I don't see it.
You don't see it?
No.
You don't? I see it.
Yeah, no, I don't. No, I don't see that one.
I see it. You don't see it? But remember when Cass had long hair, Burt?
Okay, yeah, okay, I could see that. Okay.
Ponytail hair.
Okay. Now I'm seeing it.
I see it. I see it.
Yeah, no, I can see it now, especially when you have the long hair.
And he made references to I was gonna say Benicio del Toro, Antonio Banderas movie Desperado.
Mm-hmm.
Also, that Ric Flair said that Cass looked up like Banderas. Really? When did he say that?
Probably when he was in Fortune.
Oh, okay. But anywho, I believe in Joe Henry. I believe in 252 pounds of pure motivation, the answer to all our life's problems. So, this leads into Joe Henry versus Frankie Kazarian and Spy Kids. Yeah, Spy Kids. And I was a little confused because I thought Ace Steel would be out there with Joe Henry, but he wasn't. And I was really surprised that Frankie Kazarian won this because, like, Joe Henry has momentum and he lost against the king of TNA. I'm still waiting for Frankie Kazarian to put on that crown. So I thought this was an interesting match. I feel like this match could have gone either way.
Yeah, but while I was upset at first because I couldn't tell what happened, but then, the replay you see, and then Hannafin, the way he broke it down, you can clearly see Kazarian, hit him with like a loaded fist. So it doesn't really hurt Hendry. But I don't know what they're doing at this point, just because, like, if anything, I did think he was going to be the next. I think he was going to challenge Moose at Slammiversary, especially just since he's been feuding with the system and he's beaten everyone in the system. But yeah, I didn't get this, but at the same time, I'm not like I'm gonna hold my anger to see what they do.
Yeah, I feel like this was more about Ace Steel than it was about Joe Henry, because at the end, Ace Steel does come out. But correct me if I'm wrong, but there was a crowd chanting "Bite him."
I think they were.
Oh my
That's
God.
funny.
We learned that, Frankie shoved Ace Steel and Ace Steel knocked him down. And then later on in the night, we're just going to skip ahead of here. Frankie Kazarian is going to get a match with Ace Steel in Chicago, in a Chicago street fight.
I don't really understand any of this, just because I didn't really even know Ace Steel was a wrestler. I've been watching wrestling a long time. I never saw him wrestle, unless he was a different name, or like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't ever remember him wrestling. But whatever, I guess.
I've never seen Ace Steel wrestle, so yeah, should be interesting, intriguing.
Yes.
All right, so next we're supposed to get the X Division title match, Mustafa Ali versus Trent Seven. But before that, we get Trent Seven showing some footage from this past Impact, about Mustafa Ali. Basically, we find out from this footage that Mustafa Ali thinks the X Division title is a prop. It means absolutely nothing. And we find out he doesn't even live in Chicago.
On one hand, I don't even know. I don't know if that footage could have been doctored. But on the other hand, if it's true, this is damning evidence.
I was shocked. I didn't know Mustafa Ali felt that way.
And I thought he lived in Chicago.
Me too. I are calling Mustafa Ali a fraud. Okay. So, we get this leads into the X Division title match of Mustafa Ali versus Trent Seven. I don't know about you, but this was my favorite match of the night. This was match of the night, in my opinion.
Yeah, the X Division delivers, 9 out of 10 every time. Yeah, this was a great match.
Chicago still cheered him. They even chanted, "We still love you." Yeah.
They take care of their own. Even if he's just outside of Chicago.
They true. Fun match. Trent Seven can go. He can. And as I mentioned this in the weeks leading up to this match, whoever was going to face Mustafa Ali was going to lose. There is no way whatsoever he was going to lose in his hometown.
Yeah. I didn't think that was happening at all either.
So, Mustafa Ali ends up winning this match by submission with the sharpshooter. Now, Samping Ching and Mike Bailey were banned from ringside for this match by Santino Marella. I have to say, I think that that the eventual match between Mustafa Ali and Mike Bailey is going to happen. I think it'll probably happen at Slammiversary. Mike Bailey's home country of Canada.
Where you would think that he would win based on tonight's result.
Right?
Yes.
But I cannot wait for that match.
Yes.
Ali fears Bailey? Probably. That's going to be a banger. All right. Next we get the ABC versus, I guess, Team Canada 2.0. Josh Alexander versus Eric Young. This is Josh Alexander's first match back since he got injured. This was a good match. I think Josh Alexander and Eric Young have great chemistry, but it was really nice to see ABC back on the same page.
Yeah, I thought they were going to win just because they needed to win, so I'm glad they did.
They needed the win. I felt like this match was theirs. And I was like, if Josh Alexander and Eric Young win, I don't know what to tell you. I think ABC would have been done for here. What a match. Huge win for ABC. I agree.
Yeah, they needed it. It was a must win.
Yeah, they needed this. And I think they're ready to get their tag team title rematch. What about you?
Yeah, I think they'll get it at Slammiversary.
But correct me if I'm wrong. Was there a part in this match where Ace Austin accidentally kicked Chris Bay? Because I think I caught that.
Well, no, I know Eric Young accidentally hit Josh Alexander, but I don't remember Chris Bay getting hit.
Huh. I miss Eric Young hitting Josh Alexander. I didn't catch that.
That's what led to the win.
Yeah. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and stop right there because we already talked about Jordan Grace Open Challenge and the main event. So overall, what were your thoughts on this show?
I think this was a solid show. One of the better non-Big Four pay-per-views of the year. I would, again, another 9 out of 10 for me. This is a great show.
This was a fantastic show. I enjoyed it really top to bottom. I can't give it a shot. The only reason I cannot give this a Sean Spears perfect 10 is because I feel like there was with Sami Callihan versus Jonathan Gresham, I disagree with the finish. I think that Jonathan Gresham should have won that match. And
Yeah.
And I'm a little, I don't know where they're going with this whole Joe Henry and Frankie Kazarian, Joe Henry and Ace Steel stuff. So that's another reason, because I don't feel like Joe Henry needs a mouthpiece. I don't feel like he needs a manager. He should be in the world title picture.
I wonder if it leads to Joe Henry just keep losing and then he ends up in the rafters like Sting, not talking. And then, you know what I mean? Just because he keeps getting screwed. I don't know what else they could do.
Same. Slammiversary, here it come. Yep, we're all, now that Against the Odds is out of the way, here we are on the road to Slammiversary. And what a road it's going to be. I cannot wait. So many possibilities for Moose, the system, Mustafa Ali. I'm excited.
Especially now with them seemingly working with NXT. There's some possibility for some big matches.
Yeah. Io says Rosemary's doing that. Burt watching like Sting.
That's true.
That's true. All right, you guys. Well, thank you guys all so much for the continued support. Please don't forget to like and subscribe. Make sure you hit that bell so you get notified whenever we go live or whenever BodySlam releases a new video. And we'll see you guys next week for the fallout from Against All Odds. Bye.